I got my eye on you, Larry. I've got my eye on you. This is me watching you watching me. Homebrew coming at you. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. It's been a little while since I've done a regular Homebrew Wednesday. I mean, I've put up several videos on the Homebrew Wednesday homecoming events that had gone on, and several guys that attended this said that they had the Philly funk for a good while afterwards. I think it was Mike Dean coined that phrase. A good man, a fun man to meet, some great stories that he shared with me, and such wonderful people. I could go on about the guys there, but what I want to do is talk about other things. Okay, so what's going on? So first of all, what's going on with me? I'm dropping weight still. I gained some weight, more than just a few pounds going back, and it was all worth it. But I'm back on the bandwagon, dropping weight, and I came in at my next big goal. I started this journey at 189, 190. And now I'm at 163. That's 26 pounds. And that was I don't know why, that number was the one that stuck out. I wanted to hit, so I'm really happy. My next goal is not quite as ambitious. I'm going to keep dropping weight. I still have some weight to drop. But I just want to be in the 150s by the time I go to Josh Hoover, that's Man Bear Pig, to his wedding in January. So I'm excited about that, and I'll get there. That'll happen. Even the holidays, I'll get down there. So, all right, and I also need to thank a few people there. So we're gonna have a few shout outs today. I need to thank, first of all, Sammy the Thrifty Brewer. Sam is one of my biggest cheerleaders, and I appreciate you so much, buddy. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. And then, of course, Tony Yates. He is honest sometimes. He's just, hey, you're not behaving. He's great like that. And then Larry, less frequently, Larry's been really busy, but Larimo22, and Man Bear Pig too. That's right. Josh is on there, and the four of us really kind of pull around, and we've been dropping weight and encouraging each other, and that means a lot to me. And when you guys write in and encourage me, I appreciate that too. So I will keep on that journey and still be enjoying life with beer, but dropping weight. Now, some of you are wondering about the beers behind me. All right. You may know that I've been doing kind of some of the behind the scenes type things with the SJ Pour Challenge. And that can keep me pretty busy at times. I will admit to that. The thing is that there are some guys that have really made my life much easier and made SJ's lives a lot easier. One of them sent me these beers. So let's cover the beers real quick. They came from Tyler. So over here to your right, my left, these are the 6 other top placing beers. Mine actually somehow came out as #1 on the West Coast. I don't know how. I didn't rank it there. I think I ranked myself 4th or 5th, someplace in that range. I didn't get to rate my beer, of course. So how I came out #1, I have no idea, but I'm honored. And then over here are some extra ones that Tyler sent me as a thank you, and I appreciate that. I did send him a couple of my beers, but these are 4 other beers from the Midwest. If you see your beer, I will take a time to drink your beer on screen. I will do that on a Homebrew Wednesday and enjoy that. But there's also a really fun one here. Take a look at this. This is the Raspberry Sourpuss. That's right, it's a Berliner Weiss with raspberries in it that Tyler made. I am psyched, so psyched to try this, Tyler. Can't tell you, I'm really psyched. And of course, to do all these. Now these are gonna get set aside in the fridge here in just a moment, and they're gonna be set aside for a week to let them settle down after shipping, and I will review them next week. I'll probably do 2 a day with a little time in between and food, because I want to be totally clear, sober. I don't want to have alcohol influence me from the previous beer as to rating the next. I think this is a sacred privilege for me to get to go on to the U.S. Finals and to give these all a fair shot and a fair rating. I need to do something though. I really need to do a few more shout outs, so humor me please. But I've got to thank all these guys that have made my life and SJ's life so much easier and really have done all the hard work out there. The first one I want to thank is Jonathan Ellis. Jonathan, you'll know as Delivery Boy 555, and he has been managing the UK and European hub, and a good man. Just a good man, and congratulations if you know, he just had a son earlier this year. So exciting times for him in his life. And then the other hardest working guy in Homebrew Wednesday has really helped out, been very quiet about it, but been taking care of business, and that's Harry Brew 69, who handled all the shipping for the first round for the UK and Europe. So thanks, Harry, again. I don't know how you keep up with all that you do. The next person to thank is Grant Baker. And Grant, Grant, I think of you as a dear friend. So one day we're going to meet. It will happen. And Grant Baker's channel is simply Grant Baker. And of course, he's been managing the New Zealand and Australia hub and doing a fantastic job. And I appreciate him so much. For the US and Canada hubs, on the West Coast, we had Josh Hoover. Josh, known as Man Bear Pig, 1122334455. How many times have you heard me say that? So he has been coordinating the West Coast hub, and I thought his beer would go on. I thought he was going to be in the top 3. I did. I loved his beer. And then for the East Coast, and head of the accounting for the challenge, is Joe Belcher with Pat's Fan 1284. So check out his channel. Joe's a great guy, and he loves his Pats. So you feel free to harass him. He just loves that, right, Joe? And then, of course, Tyler that sent the stuff out to me. Tyler did the U.S. Canada Midwest hub and is coordinating all of the U.S. final shipping. So thanks to Tyler. Anyway, a big thanks to these guys for just making my life easier. I communicate to them, and then they communicate with everyone else, and it has just worked beautifully. I think things have gone so smoothly this year, and I think that SJ Poor and I have just been really pleased with the team that we have and all that they've done. I also want to throw a special shout out to a couple of my buddies. First of all, and they know who they are. The first one is P. Diddle. P. Diddle, you're the man. And Sneaky Pete, 10-4 buddy. 10-4 buddy, Sneaky Pete. And then, of course, none other than Paulie Detmers, my Northwest buddy, and Paulie and his Thirsty Thursdays. So 3 special guys packed in at the end, all together there. All right, so what have I done this week? I was working on Utter Chaos Peanut Butter Milk Stout. So I probably should have done a few more adjustments to this recipe for the peanut butter, but anyway, you'll see what I did with this. Here's some footage of that.
It's a fine day for brewing, boys. A fine day. It is 48 degrees out this morning, going up the whole 52 degrees. So that ain't bad. I'll take that. Time to get cleaned up and get her boiling and rolling and everything else. Morning, boys. We're going to add a teaspoon of gypsum to the water before we mash in. I overshot my temp a little. I'm going to let it cool down just a little, because we're looking to mash in at about 154, 155 today on this one. Alright, we're mashed in, boys. Can't do it without my trusty paddle from good old Harry Brew 69, of course. I got my Too Far Gone Brewing over here. I love this. I love this, Harry. Thank you. So we're in at 155, so that's good. And I know it's a chill day, so this is going to drop temp. I like to open it up and stir it a number of times, but this is a 75-minute mash today. So here we go. So we're in the middle of the Vorloffing process, boys. Let me tell you, for a beer that's only going to be about 6%, maybe a little more, but probably not. This is one dark mistress. That's right. This is basically, it's my Utter Chaos Milk Stout, but we're going to be adding in an additional ½ pound of lactose, the milk sugar, and we'd be putting in PB2. Been kind of playing with the ideas of how I want to do it. I'm going to be splitting this up. I'm going to be putting a pound in the primary and then adding another pound again later. I don't know if I'll go to a secondary. I might, but I'll be adding it in towards the end again. I've seen people put it in the boil, and I've heard of it being burnt. I've heard people are trying to pull it across into the primary from the boil. So I think I'm just putting it all into the primary and or secondary kind of a direction. So a pound will go into the primary today.
So what are you doing in the kitchen, you say, huh, Kevin? Well, let me tell you. I kept thinking that the grain bill looked wrong. Something was missing, or I was short grains. Came to realize that they did not give me my 12 ounces of flaked barley or 12 ounces of flaked oats. So, made an emergency phone call to my good friend, Lermo22, who is, as he said, ran into this problem before, and I might need to get a little more water, but I'm going to be steeping the oats a little bit here, and then I'm going to add it back into the mash. I haven't started sparging yet, so I think I'm going to do a bit of a little bit of a batch sparge this time, and maybe take the rest of the water and use that for, normally just sparging it through. So we'll see how this goes, but that's what I'm working on. There's always some kind of hiccup, right? But this was just not right. Not right. Anyway, here we go.
All right, I've been steeping this for about 12, 13 minutes. I think that's more than enough because this is now just a big old pot of porridge. I mean, it's like you got your flaked oats and flaked barley. So we're going to see how this works out. But you can see how viscous, the liquid is going to be coming off this and what that's going to do to the beer. Oh man, this just sounds like looks like stuck sparginess to me. We'll see what happens here. So we'll batch sparge. I'm gonna heat up some more water to add into this. All right, we're hoping for the best, boys. I probably overcooked those oats and barley, flaked oats and flaked barley, but we'll see. We'll see how this turns out. The rest of the ingredients are good. As long as we get a little bit of that viscousness added back in from the two of those, we'll be doing well. Hey, it's all about the peanut butter and chocolate in the end, isn't it? Well, they say a watched pot never boils, but we're getting pretty close. And I did a few things here. With this whole mess going on with the oats, I decided to do a little extra water, a little more wort. So I wanted to get as much out of there as I possibly could. Man, that looks creamy though. I think I did that. Good effect on there. We'll see how this goes. But I'm sure it's still going to be a great beer. There we go. And there you have it, boys. We're boiling away. Okay, so now that we're boiling, we're putting in 1 1/4 ounces of East Kent Goldings. Oh, it smells so good. When life throws you a curve on a brew day, there's nothing better than pouring one off the tap and just making the most of it. This here is my my brown ale, the chocolate hazelnut brown ale that took first place in the West Coast. So I have a little bit left on the keg, and I've sent off my bottles for the U.S. finals. And then next thing is to drink with a friend. That's right. Little SJ keeps me company all the time. SJ must be really missing him, but I tell you, he's got a few more adventures before he makes that flight home. Cheers, everyone. That's damn good for 3.6%. I'm making this again, let me tell you.
I won't get into world maybe, but I'll tell you what, this might become a house brew. Oh.
Okay, my alarm's going off, which means it's time to add the lactose. I added in yeast nutrient 5 minutes ago, but here we go with lactose. And I'm going a little bit higher than usual. It's just thought process my own. I'm adding peanut butter, so I thought I'd add a little more sweetness, a little more of that milkiness as well. Maybe, who knows? We'll see what it does. But I usually just do a pound on my outer cask. This is going to be 1.5 pounds today. If some of you don't know, I do have a bit of a sweet tooth, so yeah, what the hell. No, I've been so good. I've been losing weight, but I'm not really a candy bar person, but I like those sweet beers. I will say that. That's why I like all the Imperials, not just the high octane ABV. All right, got another one in about 4 more minutes. Just poured myself a little more, and back just in time for the last addition here. We've got our Irish Moss and another edition of East Kent Gold in here. So I'm opting to do the peanut butter a little different, and I will show you that in a little bit. It's going to go into the primary. Ten more minutes here. All right, there goes the last alarm. It is flame out. Meanwhile, I've had this sitting in the bucket with sanitizer. Go ahead and add that in. And drape it across here. We'll get this chilling down right away. Well, it's Oregon. It started raining on cue. But at least I got it out of the rain and we're chilling. Cheers. Okay, I'm here in the kitchen with all the essentials. I have a beer in hand. A mighty good beer, I might add. And my lovely assistant is over here. I've just checked the original gravity. It's 1.062. Probably a little lower than I wanted, but there were a few mishaps today. We'll go with it. It's all good. We just want a lot of good peanut butter taste. And she's going to show us how to make a roux, because it can be really tough mixing this peanut butter. We'll see how she does, but I know she'll do better than I will. That's more than a tablespoon, but
that's fine. And then I need some liquid.
how much?
I'll tell you when to stop. I would do it in steps like that. I would add maybe 1/2 cup of this and then 1/2 cup of that. Okay. But that's smooth. So what you're doing then is you'd be adding 1/2 cup of your dry ingredient with 1/2 cup of your wet ingredient.
It's about 1/2 cup we're adding in now to bring it in slowly.
Liquid. A little bit more. There you go.
So a little Esther and I discussed it. Brief look at the day. Yeah, we had to go back and work on those flaked oats and flaked barley. That kind of made it a rough day and probably got me rushed. And then I didn't quite boil it down enough. I needed to boil down the wort about another ½ inch. That would have pulled the gravity up from 1.062 a bit. I was targeting 1.072, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. We're going to be adding another pound of peanut butter roux into this and 4 ounces of cocoa nibs before it's over. Isn't that right, little SJ? Oh yeah. So, you know, it's going to be tasty anyway. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you're all having a great week. Here's some of a small pour, the last of my, I call it a brown ale, but basically it's the chocolate hazelnut beer that's only 3.6% ABV. Cheers. I have to tell you, I have thoroughly enjoyed this. Can't be much left on there. Anyway, cheers everyone. See you next time around.